Let's speak to the Israeli ambassador to South Africa, that is Eliav Belotsercovsky. Ambassador, thank you for being with us. So why was there nobody in the building today when that demonstration happened?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me, and good evening. I would like to say that actually today we had a very big event in Mercytown, in Joburg. Event of support for Israel. We had hundreds and hundreds of pastors, of Christian spiritual leaders that came to express their support with Israel, to express their solidarity. It was an exceptional meeting, and we were very happy to see the support for Israel. We were very happy to hear the speeches of these leaders, these spiritual leaders, of speaking in favor of support of Israel.
If you had been in the building, would you have received a memorandum of demands? Would you have been willing to look at that?
Well, I'm in the building basically every working day. I'm there, and whoever wants to come and to meet me, I will be very happy to meet anyone and receive any kind of letters or have a discussion. We at the Embassy of Israel, we are very open. We come from a democratic country. We come from a democratic society. We respect people that have perhaps different views from ours, but we definitely will defend their right to express them.
What do you make of the ANC's call, Ambassador, for the embassy in South Africa to be closed?
Well, I've been here for close to 2 years, almost 2 years actually. And when I came here, my main aim, my actually only aim, was to see how we can improve the relations between Israel and South Africa. That was the main subject on which I was working. And I still hope we can still improve these relations.
Those relations have always been fraught. Government not officially calling for the shutting down of the embassy, but there have been some serious concerns that Israel has broken international law, for example, about cutting off water, food and energy supplies to Gaza. Would you say that that relationship is pretty low at the moment?
Well, if I may, let's see what happened here. On the 7th of October, Israel was in a very brutal, savage way attacked. Not the army, not the Israeli army, not the Israeli police. It was civilians, families that were murdered in the most brutalic way that one can think of. Even ISIS or Al-Qaeda didn't use these methods of torturing people, killing babies, and documenting it. So this what was happening. And in addition to this, there were hundreds and hundreds of missiles that are still being fired from Gaza to Israel. It's happening as we speak. The civilian population of Israel is constantly under threat of missiles in Jerusalem, in Tel Aviv, in Ashdod, in Ashkelon, everywhere. The whole of Israel is under threat. This is what happened, and what was triggering the events in Gaza now. Now, I want to ask you, people are telling me, yes, there's the humanitarian law, the people are suffering. That's true. Our war is not with the population. Our war is with the Hamas. But we have to defend our people. We could sit and wait for the Hamas to perpetrate another attack.
Yeah.
And we have 200 hostages in Gaza. Did we hear any questions regarding humanitarian supply to the hostages? Many of them are elderly people that need medication. Does anyone care about what these people receive?
Ambassador, I think nobody can say that the attack was not savage because it was the attack led by Hamas. But what is your response to our Department of International Relations and Cooperation, for example, saying that it is a war crime to use starvation? And maybe just to ordinary South Africans, can you give us some insight into why would you cut off water, cut off food, cut off power, when you know that that would affect up to 2 million, perhaps, or more innocent people in Gaza?
Well, the answer is simple. First, we didn't cut off water. There is water supply to the south of Gaza from Israel. Second thing, all these claims that there is lack of power. Now, I want to ask you, the Hamas is firing indiscriminately rockets on Israel. Now, how much energy has to be consumed by a launching site of these rockets on Israel? So the Hamas has the energy to fire rockets. The Hamas have the rockets to fire. So there is no crisis in rockets. There is no crisis in energy. But it's easy to blame Israel, like what happened with this hospital. You know, if you read the headline of BBC today, it said clearly, we are sorry, it was a mistake. But everybody straight away accepts the statement of the Hamas as truth. A statement of a terrorist organization that murdered hundreds and hundreds of people. So in what world are we living?
Yeah. But Ambassador,
a democratic country like Israel says we didn't do it, nobody really accepts it.
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands possibly facing peril because of the blockade, the cutoff of supplies, and there is concern about civilians, which you say you care about. Could you explain why the humanitarian aid still hasn't gone in? Why is it still waiting in Egypt?
Well, as we speak, there are negotiations between Israel, Egypt, and other international organizations and players regarding the entry of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. But again, I have to say, we have hostages in Gaza. We have 200 people that we don't know what's happening with them. We don't know what kind of aid do they get, what kind of support do they get? Do we know that this aid is going to get to the hostages? Does anyone condition the aid by releasing the hostages? By at least giving some access to the hostages? And this is because the Hamas is a terror organization, and its aim is to destroy Israel. We tried to live side by side with them. We tried, but the attack of the 7th of October has proved beyond any doubt this organization, its aim is to destroy Israel and kill the Jewish people. On the 7th of October, the largest number of Jewish people was killed in one day since the Holocaust. And this is something terrible. And when people tell us, yes, well, there are two sides, there are no two sides. Were there two sides when the war against ISIS took place? Were there two sides when the war against Al-Qaeda took place? Or against Nazis? Did anyone propose to talk to ISIS? What the Hamas did was worse than ISIS. It was worse than Al-Qaeda. It was murder for the sake of murder, documented and being proud of.
Ambassador, all my questions are around civilians, which are part of neither side. A question for you, because this has been asked across the world, and I'd love your take. People are saying, what is the end aim for Israel? Because you can go in and destroy Hamas. You mentioned ISIS. Hasn't the experience been that there will always be new leaders if there's a void? So can you even achieve your intended aim without other unintended consequences as well? What is the end game?
Well, our end game is to destroy the Hamas terrorist infrastructure, to release the hostages, and to create a system in Gaza that will not threaten the lives of the Israeli civilians. Our war is not with the people of Gaza. We withdrew from Gaza completely in 2005. There is no territorial conflict here. The whole Gaza is under the Hamas dictatorship, because since 2007, there have been no elections in Gaza. And the people there live under the Hamas. They have no other choice. And we don't want to get into Gaza. We don't want to destroy any infrastructure in Gaza. We don't want to harm the people of Gaza. We want to live with them side by side. But what is happening now, these people are suffering. And they are suffering because Hamas could stop this whole campaign. It could stop firing rockets on Israel. It could stop. It could release the hostages that it kidnapped from Israel. It could punish the perpetrators of this attack. But it's not interested in all this. They openly declare their aim is to destroy Israel. This is what they are all about.
Ambassador,
what should we do?
Yeah.
Should we sit and wait for another attack?
I'm sorry to interject, Ambassador, just because of time. Final question. Our president will be traveling to Egypt, so I understand that the Palestinian president will be there, the leader of Jordan. Was there ever talk of Israel joining that? Countries from the EU will be there, the head of the UN. Was there any talk of Israel joining, and what are you hoping will come out of that peace initiative?
Well, at the moment, I don't have any information. I don't know if we have been approached. Certainly, we have not been approached here. I think there will be decision will be taken, and we will see if we are going to join in.
All right. We appreciate your time tonight. Thank you, Israeli Ambassador to South Africa, Eliav Belotsercovsky.